a radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. ERB institutes enforcement action against non-compliance to license. 97th edition of the Agriculture and Commercial Show to and from Angolese president on trial for treason. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. President Hakainde Hichilema notes that Zambia remains concerned about the ongoing conflict in Sudan and stands in full solidarity with its people, many of whom have been displaced, injured, or tragically lost their lives. Earlier today, the president received the vice president of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of the Republic of Sudan, Mr. Malik Aga who delivered a special message from the president of Sudan, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah. President Hakainde Hichilema said Zambia supports all efforts aimed at the restoration of peace, security, and constitutional order in Sudan. The head of state added that Zambia remains committed to working in close collaboration with regional and international partners, including ECOWAS, the East African Community EAC, SADC, the African Union AU, and the United Nations UN to promote a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The Energy Regulation Board has instituted enforcement action against non-compliance to license conditions through a process of monitoring, investigating, and penalizing licensees who breach their license conditions. Speaking during a mid-year press briefing, ERB Director General Elijah Sichones notes that the enforcement action is a necessary regulatory function as it aims to protect the interests of consumers, ensure fair competition, provide quality service, promote safety, and foster reliability in the energy sector. Engineer Sichone says during the period under review, the ERB carried out enforcement action against 94 licenses. He said out of those, 22 were in contravention of the Energy Regulation Act No. 12 of 2019. 53 were in breach of various license conditions, and 19 licenses defaulted in the settlement of their statutory obligations in fees payable to the ERB. Meanwhile, Engineer Sichone says in pursuant to its statutory mandate to regulate the energy sector, the ERB grants licenses and construction permits to entities intending to undertake energy-related activities. Engineer Sichone says applicants are required to meet established technical, financial, and legal criteria and must also demonstrate full compliance with applicable safety and environmental standards. He says during the reporting period, the ERB granted a total of 288 standard licenses and 45 construction permits.
Performance rate 81% against the institutional target of 80%. So we exceeded the target by 1%, having performed at 81% as the assessment that was done. Again, in the electricity sector, we will continue to monitor the power quality performance of the interconnected power system in Zambia. Talking about quality performance in the petroleum subsector, the ERB also conducts petroleum product quality sampling and analysis twice every quarter.
Agriculture and Commercial Cooperative Society of Zambia ACSZ President Bernard Munga has announced the 97th edition of the Agriculture and Commercial Show under the theme Adapting to Climate Change, which will run from 30th July to 4th August 2025. Speaking at a briefing, SCSZ President Bernard H. Monga says the show will run for 6 days, with the first 3 days dedicated to business interactions, and the last 3 days will be a mixture of entertainment and business to consumer engagement. Mr. Monga says the first day is for judges and each day is about networking with exhibitors and stakeholders. He says this year the show mobile app has been improved. People can buy tickets online and check for location where a particular stand is. Mr. Monga says the commercial show creates 500 direct employment every year. This year it will have about 24 international countries. Chilanga Police Station has apprehended 3 suspects in connection with a case of breaking into a building and committing a felony therein following a burglary at Gateway Hypermarket located at Petroda Service Station along Kafue Road. The report was received yesterday from Mr. Feroz Alam of Lilai, the proprietor of Gateway Hypermarket. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga noted that the suspects stole cash amounting to 31,000 kwacha. Police officers promptly visited the scene and established that the suspect had gained entry by cutting through the shop's iron sheet roofing using a cutting tool. CCTV footage reviewed later showed the intruder entering and exiting the building through the roof, carefully avoiding the guards' attention. The footage further captured the suspect loading cash into a bag and later hiding in the toilet with it. Mr. Hamonga says a total amount of 18,087 kwacha has since been recovered. The 3 suspects are the intruder, Mr. John Perry, along with the 2 security guards, Mr. Austin Lundy and Mr. George Hajinto, have been detained and charged with breaking into a building and committing a felony therein. A docket has been opened and investigations are ongoing to recover the remaining amount and establish the full extent of the involvement of all parties.
And 87 Ngwe has since been recovered. The 3 suspects, the intruder, Mr. John Puri, along with the 2 security guards, Mr. Austin Lundi and Mr. George Hachintu, have been detained and charged with breaking into a building and committing a felony therein. A docket has been opened and investigations are ongoing to recover the remaining amount and establish the full extent of the involvement of all parties. The Zambia Police Service continues to aid business owners to enhance internal surveillance and ensure that their security personnel are properly vetted to avoid collision with criminals.
And in other news trending this evening, the Ministry of Education has formally closed the 2025 Knowledge Co-Creation Program for Africa, conducted under the theme Enhancing Our Understanding and Development of a Learning Environment, Accelerating STEM Learning Competencies in Africa. Fisheries and Livestock Minister Peter Kapala has officially commissioned a 200 kVA solar power plant at the Central Veterinary Research Institute in Chilanga, aimed at addressing persistent power disruptions and enhancing operational efficiency at the institute. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Vice President Mtalena Lumango has underscored the need to suspend the loans component of the Constituency Development Fund CDF until there is a mindset change among citizens regarding debt repayment. Speaking during Vice President's question time, Mrs. Nalumango noted that banks have long experienced challenges with loan repayment, and unfortunately, the same trend is now being seen under the CDF. The Vice President emphasized that successful businesses always repay their debts. Mrs. Nalumango also called for increased awareness on the importance of repaying loans, along with the promotion and implementation of sustainable and successful business models. She was responding to a question from the Member of Parliament for Kwacha constituency, who asked whether the government would continue to provide loans despite poor repayment rates or consider redirecting the resources to other priority areas. Mrs. Nalumango further stressed the importance of taking proactive measures to address human animal conflicts in Chama South.
Something, it's a mindset, it's happening, and then you want to bring here an issue that the people are so indebted. Yeah, I hope I'm speaking something that is here. Concerned, we start saying people are so indebted. Can you find a way? When you borrow, you must have a payment plan in mind, have a viable project for which you are borrowing. This is a terrible thing. It will make us fail to grow our economy.
Ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in foreign news, the treason trial of the former president of the Democratic of Congo, Joseph Kabila, has begun in a military court in the capital, Kinshasa. He also faces other charges, including murder and rape, linked to his alleged support for M23 rebels who control a large part of the mineral-rich east of the country. He denies the charges and did not appear at the hearing, and he asked to be tried in absentia. Kabila's successor, President Felix Tshisekedi, has accused him of being the brains behind the rebels. And in sports news, new Red Bull team principal Laurent Mekies says his priority is to improve the car's performance. To remove any doubts Max Verstappen has about staying with the team. Verstappen is contracted until 2028, but has performance clauses in his contract that could allow him to leave. The Dutchman is being courted by Mercedes for next season. And the evening weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is mainly clear in Mayutuku. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. The Energy Regulation Board has instituted enforcement action against non-compliance to license conditions through a process of monitoring, investigating, and penalizing licensees who breach their license conditions. Vice President Timtale Nalumango has underscored the need to suspend the loans component of the Constituency Development Fund CDF until there is a mindset change among citizens regarding debt repayment. And finally, the treason trial of the former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Joseph Kabila, has begun in a military court in the capital, Kinshasa. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, Thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM radio. My name is Lance Sannie Banda. Enjoy the rest of the evening.